Night of the Living Dead. This movie was a big deal. They won't stay dead. That's the tagline. Let's get into it. Night of the Living Dead is from 1968. It lasts 1 hour 35 minutes and it's in black and white. It's old. Yeah, it's old, yeah. Psycho was in black and white. Oh yeah. Yeah, you like that? Yeah. I did not like this. Now this is a movie you can watch for free online. The copyright expired on it. The director, George Romero, and the production company, whoever else was in charge of it, they didn't take care of the proper copyright rules or laws back when the movie first came out, so it's free to watch. You could even take the movie and upload it if you want. But loads of people have already done that, that's true. The movie opens with siblings John and Barbara. Johnny, she calls him. Yeah, John and Barbara. Johnny and Barbara at a graveyard. They're visiting their father's grave. They're just on the way home from church, I think. I don't know. The acting is something else. It's fine. It's not, Oscar-worthy acting. It's rubbish. Anyway, they're reminiscing about their childhood and they're saying when we used to come here, Barbara was always scared and Johnny would always tease her. He would always tease her about people coming to get her in the graveyard. And they spot a man in the distance and Johnny says, "Look, here's one now."
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Turns out he actually is coming to get her because this strange man just attacks Barbara from nowhere. Yeah, Johnny goes and wrestles him off and then Johnny gets killed. He hits his head on the corner of a gravestone and he seems to be a goner. Huh. Run, Deirdre! That is what she does. She runs away. She gets to the car. She can't start it. Because she's in a panic, she's having trouble starting the car. The guy who killed her brother comes up with a rock and smashes the car window. And then she gets it moving just in time. Yeah, she manages to drive off for about 3 seconds and then instantly crashes. She does. She gets out, runs off on foot. The guy chases her, but she manages to lose him by running into a house. It turns out it's a farmhouse. Yeah, and she just goes in, and there's no one there. It's empty. She's looking around, she can't find anyone, and then she looks out the window, and suddenly it's night.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's true. It is all of a sudden dark outside. And that weird guy is out there waiting for her. Yeah, she sees a dead body in the house, so she runs out. That's right. And the guy's there. But then another man appears. Yeah, this is Den. Den's like, "Get back inside." Ben takes her back inside the house, and then when he looks back out, he sees there are more weird guys. So he goes out and he beats up to them. Yeah, he smashes their heads in. Yes, he does. And then more appear. He runs back inside the house. And so it's Ben and Barbara in the house alone. Or so they think. Ben rapidly starts telling her, "We need to board up the windows, we need to board up the doors. Go upstairs and find more wood that I can use." Yeah, he's taking doors off the hinges and he's putting them against the walls and against the windows and against the doors to create a barrier. And Deirdre's just walking around and Dave's like, oh. The whole time Ben is speaking, he's, like I said, he's proactive. He wants to get things done, he wants to make sure they're safe. He actually initially thinks this is Barbara's house. Yeah. And then he starts telling Deirdre about his first experience with these weird people.
I didn't see them at first. The truck went right across the road. Slammed on my brakes to keep from hitting it myself. It went right through the guardrail, cut off the road, into that gas station by Beekman's Diner. It went right through the billboard, ripped over a gas pump, and never stopped moving. By now it's like a moving bonfire. Didn't know if the truck was going to explode or what. Could still hear the man screaming.
Planes over here, and he is surrounded by all these weird guys. And he said, "I've learned they're scared of fire." Who isn't? Yeah, he managed to escape, drove through the crowd of weird people, just mowed them down, and eventually came to this farmhouse where he met Barbara. She's not said a word yet. That's right, she's basically catatonic, but Barbara eventually says, we need to go and find my brother. We need to go and help Johnny. And Ben just says, oh, your brother's dead. Yeah, all compassion, this guy. Barbara's getting more and more hysterical. She ends up slapping Ben. Yeah, and he slaps her right back and knocks her out.
It's a knockout!
So in the house, Ben finds a radio. He switches on and he hears the news report. No one knows what's going on. The whole world seems to be like this, or at least the whole of America. Which in these is the world. Yeah. He keeps boarding up windows, boarding up doors. Yeah, and he takes an armchair out in the front lawn, sets it on fire to keep the zombies back. Yeah, pretty smart. Yeah. And then there are even more scenes of him boarding up windows and doors. This goes on for ages. Well, he needs to be safe. I know that editing. Never mind editing. So Barbara wakes up in time just to hear the radio saying, the killers, these weird people, are eating their victims. Ugh. And then she's confronted by a new person. Yeah, this is Harry, Mr. Cooper. Harry Cooper. Turns out him and his family are in the basement. Yeah, along with a young couple, Tom and Judy. But Harry has come upstairs to see what all the noise is. Tom has followed. They introduce themselves in a hostile manner. And they say, come down to the basement, it's the safest place to be. In the cellar is where you want to be. And Ben's saying, no, it's safer up here. We've got food, we've got ammunition. Oh yeah, found a rifle. That's right, Ben found a rifle in the house.
I should have mentioned that earlier.
We've got food, we've got ammunition, we've got everything we need. Yeah, but then Harry says, my daughter has been injured. I need help, I need medical supplies. So we see downstairs in this basement, Harry, his wife Helen, and their daughter Karen. Yeah, Karen's a little girl, lying on like a night shift dead, and she's like, She's not quite, but she's clearly unwell. So after a bit of back and forth, a bit of an argument about whether they should stay upstairs or downstairs, Helen comes up to try and help cool things down. And in that cellar, where Karen is clearly not well, she's clearly struggling to breathe, her mum and dad just had a little cigarette right in her face. Ben and Tom get to work, still boarding up doors and windows. How many doors and windows are there? I don't know, they just want to be secure. A bit nuts. And it's all pointless, as you'll see later. Alright, well, don't give it away. It's rubbish. It's not rubbish, it's a classic. What do you mean it's a classic? This is the first proper zombie movie we got. Zombies? Yeah, these things are zombies. Not once in this movie is the word zombie mentioned. Oh yeah, that's right. What do they call them? Gills?
Ghouls.
Good point. Rubbish. It's not rubbish. They also find in the house a TV. They plug it in, switch it on, and the news reports are saying
A third of the nation is being committed by creatures who feast upon the flesh of their victims. First eyewitness accounts of this grisly development came from people who were understandably frightened and almost incoherent. Officials and newsmen at first discounted those eyewitness descriptions as being beyond belief. However, the reports persisted. The medical examinations of some of the victims bore out the fact that they had been partially devoured.
the TV network also says rescue stations are being set up. Stay tuned to keep an eye out for your local rescue station. If you can get there, get there. If not, eventually someone will come and help you. Yeah.
Good luck with that.
That no one really knows what's happening. Not really, no, not at this point. But then, right, there's a little interview with some scientist, and it turns out he's landing a satellite that was launched into space, and it was, the radiation levels are far too high, and they think when that was brought back to Earth, it's contaminated dead bodies and brought them back to life, and they've done killers.
Interesting theory.
Seems like that's the reason for the whole zombie, ghoul epidemic. Yeah, why not? The gang inside the house devise a plan. They need to go and get medical supplies for Karen. So, Ben and Tom decide to take Ben's truck. Yeah, Judy tags along for some reason. So they run out of the house. Meanwhile, Harry goes upstairs with fire bombs, no little cocktails, and he starts throwing them to clear a path to scare the zombies away. So he does that. Ben, Tom and Judy make it to the truck. They drive along. They don't have to drive far because they need to get petrol. You see that this is a Tharn, so the Tharn has a petrol pump. Yeah, that's right. Convenient. Well, it's a working farm, so it makes sense. They get to the petrol pump. Yeah, but then it goes wrong, right? And the truck somehow catches fire. They continue to drive away from the petrol pump now. That then says the truck's on fire. Get out. He gets out. Tom gets out. And then Jerry's like, oh no, my dress is stuck in the seat. Yeah, so Tom jumps back in to free his girlfriend, and done! Big explosion. They're the goners. The truck explodes with Judy and Tom inside. At least the ghouls won't eat them. Well, that's what you think, but later on we see the fire has died down, and the ghouls are indeed eating the two burnt corpses. Dirty cute. Ben runs back to the house. Yeah, and Tom just shuts the door on him. What? You're not racist. Well, Ben kicks the door in anyway, goes in, reboards up the door, and then just punches Harry in the face. Quite right. Yes, quite right. Meanwhile, Helen is back downstairs with Karen, and Karen sits up, yeah, and she's all weird looking. She's now a ghoul, and she advances on her mother, Helen. And Helen's saying, oh no, I see Angel, please don't do this. And then Karen doesn't do what all the other girls are doing, biting people and trying to eat them. She just stabs her with a trowel. That's right, she takes a garden trowel and just stabs her mother to death. Yeah. Back upstairs on TV, we're told the only way to kill the ghouls is to shoot them in the head and then burn their bodies, just for good measure. I guess so. And then there's an attempted break-in. Yeah, there's like hundreds and hundreds of these ghouls at the window, and they're trying to get in. They're reaching in and they're trying to grab at people. That, during this, that then starts adding more doors to the window. He drops a rifle. Harry takes out and says, listen, I'm in charge now. It's time to go to the cellar. Ben finishes boarding up the window and he goes back, and Harry and Ben have a fight. Yeah, Ben wins. He gets the gun. And he just shoots Harry in the stomach. This is the hero of the movie. Yeah. Harry staggers downstairs so that his daughter and wife can presumably watch him die. Thanks, Den. Yeah, but when he gets there, he finds his wife stabbed to death, and he sees his daughter eating parts of her body. But upstairs, the ghouls are advancing, and there's more and more and more of them. They're all crowding in on this country house, reaching through the window. Pretty iconic imagery. Really? Yeah, it looks amazing. All these windows, all these arms coming in the window. If you saw this for the very first time in this movie in the cinema in 1968, you would have been blown away. You think? Definitely. Nah. Anyway, they reach in. They're grabbing at Ben. They're grabbing at Barbara, who's done nothing this whole movie, by the way. Well, she's there, and Barbara recognises one of the ghouls. Yeah, it's Johnny, her brother. She's like, oh, Johnny! Oh, it's so good to see you, type of thing. Please help me. Yeah, but then Johnny is now a ghoul, and all the other ghouls grab her, and she's dragged into basically a circle of them. Yeah, and they definitely tear her apart. It seems like that's the case. Ben Scarper's down to the basement. See? Harry was right. The basement's the place to be. Well, he didn't have a choice. But he rushes down to the basement. And on his way down, he meets Karen, the little girl. And he just shoves her out of the way. Runs back down. Runs all the way down the stairs and locks the door. Yeah. And he gets there and he sees Harry eating Helen. And he shoots Harry in the head. He does. I bet he enjoyed that. Yeah, probably. He also shoots Helen in the head, even though Helen's just been stabbed. She hasn't been, like, you know, bitten or scratched or anything like that. Although that's not established in this movie. Yeah, I'm probably using my knowledge from other, well, zombie movies. Even though they're not zombies, they're ghouls. You know what I mean. Ben shoots them both in the head. So now Ben is alone in the cellar, and upstairs the house is filled with ghouls. Yeah, good luck then. Next thing we know, it's morning. Yeah, and Ben's still there in the basement clutching his rifle. Upstairs, the house is empty. Yeah, I've never understood this bit. They should have just burst down that door and went and got Den. That's what they would have done. They wouldn't just think, oh well, he's in the basement, let's go home. While Ben's in the basement, we see an armed posse on the way. Yeah, these guys, right, they're going across the country and they're taking out these ghouls because they know all you have to do is shoot them in the head and then turn their bodies. So they're going town to town and shooting anyone who's a ghoul. Dang, it seems like they'll have this done within a couple of days. Yeah, easy peasy. And this armed posse make it to the farmhouse. Yeah, then here's the dogs, right, so they've got dogs. And then here's the dogs, and he's like, oh, what's that? He goes upstairs, and the posse are there to save people. So then goes upstairs, quite happy, thinking, oh, maybe it's someone to help, or maybe it's nor gills. He doesn't know for sure. So he peeks out the window, and he's shot. They're like, look, there's a gill, shoot it in the head. So that's what they do. Sorry Den, sorry now to go into like, you're not getting a happy ending here. Yeah, it's a bit dark. It's a bit rubbish. It's not rubbish, it's... No, to be fair, the ending did get me. That surprised me. That was pretty cool, that he was killed off. I mean, it's dark, and it's not very happy, that it's a pretty cool choice. It is indeed. And that's the end. Then credits are played over newsreel footage of this posse rounding up the dead bodies, setting them on fire, and that's really it. Hi, is this a classic? This bred so many more zombie movies. This is not a zombie movie. Not in name anyway. Well, I suppose they do use ghouls. I don't know why some of them became zombies. They could have just kept Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, Dead. Yeah. They could have had them all as ghouls, because there are no rules. No rules when it comes to ghouls. Right, but there are no rules. Why change it to zombies? Sounds killer? Maybe. But if we had watched 40 years worth of movies where the antagonists were called ghouls, by now that would be a cool word. Oh, maybe. Definitely. Anyway, I think this is a classic film. I think it's great. I'm glad it was made because I loved pretty much everything that came after it. Yeah, that's not how you can judge a movie. You're not allowed to say, well, I really like Thor the Dark World because that's the reason they had Thor Ragnarok. I mean, it's not, but you know, you get the example. I know we are saying you should be judging the movie on the movie. Yeah, and this was rubbish, except the end. It wasn't rubbish. I really like this. Let us know what you thought though. That was Night of the Living Dead, the classic, original, not classic, from 1968. Hit like, hit subscribe. You'll see you next time. They're coming to get you, Dardra.